Good evening, everybody. Ivan Temokov here. I hope you're having a great. Is it Tuesday? Tuesday evening? Yes, it is Tuesday. I don't even know what day it is. If this is your first time tuning in, my name is Ivan Temokov, founder and CEO of Razor Sharp Digital, the world's #1 human marketing agency. We work with brands and individuals and companies of all sizes and helping them forge their digital footprint using multi-channel marketing, emotional engagement, and human-to-human business practices. I have been in the space for 26 years now, and Razor Sharp Digital was actually born 4 years ago. In 2019, was able to finally hit six figures in revenue, and that allowed me to really flourish with my business. And so, what I'm about to talk about in this video are the exact same things that I have done on Facebook that have helped me generate new relationships, more business, thousands and thousands of dollars in added revenue per month for my business. And so I want to talk about those today because let's face it, Facebook is still the 500-pound gorilla that we need to pay attention to. You know, they are one of those social platforms that we just need to, pay attention to. It's amazing because, Facebook has been around now for 13 years. And honestly, that is ancient for a social media platform. I remember it was 2007, I believe, when I actually signed up for Facebook, and I had to sign up with an email address back then. By the way, it was the only college email address that I had at the time, and that was the only option that I had. So, for a social platform to be around longer than 10 years is actually quite mesmerizing because you have to remember that in this digital age that we live in, it is extremely challenging to coexist with other social platforms simply because there's always something new out there. And so, just a little bit of background and history that I wanted to share with you guys. Now, let's dive into the things that I want to specifically talk about in this video. How can you up your Facebook game in a few simple steps? Now, what I'm about to tell you are the exact same things that I have done for my own business that in 2019 resulted over six figures in revenue. And this year, we're actually on track to almost double that revenue. So you have to remember that you are the brand. Act like it. What I mean by you are the brand is people buy you, who you are. They buy from you. They don't buy from your company. So when you're out on Facebook, you may have seen this already. A lot of people are putting an emphasis on their personal brand. And you should too. You should put a strong emphasis on your personal brand simply because you want to surround yourself with other like-minded people, people that have done things that you have done. So, for instance, I'm surrounded by millionaires. I talk to millionaires. I talk to people who are positive, optimistic, and that's a part of my personal brand. And I also focus on expressing myself in the way that I feel comfortable. Because at the end of the day, you're probably not going to do business with people who just can't get along with you. So there's no sense in holding anything back. Just be yourself. Be expressive. Don't be afraid to hold anything back. Don't feel like you're silenced. Because I think a lot of people, are not doing that. So remember, the first thing, you are the brand. You are the company. Act like it. For instance, the people that I do business with know that I curse, know that I'm a father, know that I have kids, that I'm married. They know that I do a lot of unconventional things, but at the end of the day, it's all about the bottom line. So, define your personal brand. Who is your personal brand? Who are you? And act like it on Facebook under your own personal account. That is going to have the biggest benefit than any business page out there. Not everyone is your friend, or should be your friend for that matter. Choose wisely who is your friend. Honestly, I don't need to go out on my personal profile and say that I'm cleaning my friends list. I just remove people. I remove people who I have not conversed with in some time, people who have never taken initiative, and people who have nothing to contribute, nothing in common with me. You don't need to have thousands of friends on Facebook. You only need to have the right friends. In fact, I'm okay with just having a handful of friends. In fact, that is every single day I am trimming my friends list on Facebook. Literally, every single day I'm trimming it. In fact, I'm actually excited about the day when I hit 500 friends. I shit you not, because there's this huge misconception. There's so many people out there that want to have many, many, many friends because they're led to believe that everybody's going to be their friend. No, not everybody's going to be your friend. I'm here to tell you that. I was there. I was close to 5,000 friends on my personal profile. And honestly, my engagement was pure shit. Simply because at least 75% of those people had absolutely nothing in common with me. Absolutely nothing in common. Nor they were the types of people that would engage, that would participate in conversation. So again, choose who your friends are. Choose friends that align with your interests, align with the things that you want to accomplish. Again, I'm friends with people who own successful businesses, who are fathers, mothers, people who play golf, people who cycle, because that's what I do. That's what I enjoy doing. Those are the types of people that I can relate to. You know, the action is in the DMs. This is a really key component for you guys to understand. The action is in the DMs. So many people don't understand that how powerful direct messages are on Facebook. Honestly, I will tell you this much, guys. I probably spend a good portion of my day just in the comment section, literally, or excuse me, in the direct messages. You know, I'm always reaching out to people that I haven't talked to in a while, people that, you know, maybe I just became friends with also. You know, that is where the action is. It's in the direct messages, you know, because you have a direct connection with people. And I know most people would say, well, there's no benefit in the direct messages. Bullshit. All the benefit is in building your community, which is in the direct messages. You know, what you have to say to people is extremely important. How you impact people, because people will remember you by your actions. And so Messenger is a great option. I know there's so many people out there who are worried about the privacy of Messenger, but I'm here to tell you, you've got no privacy the second you stepped on the internet. You know, there's so much that you can find out anything and everything about anyone. You know, whether it's the free way or the paid way. So being worried about, you know, invasion of privacy on Messenger is a complete bullshit and counterintuitive approach. Spend more time in the DMs on Messenger. That is where the action is. Knowing how to converse with people. Create your own community and segment it based on your interests. So what I mean by create your own community is groups are a great way. Creating groups is a great way to create a very targeted community with individuals that are interested in what you have to say, that will stick around. And these are potential prospects, potential customers of yours. For instance, my group, the Human Marketing Alliance, some of you that may be watching are members of it. You know, I've been running that group for several years now, you know, and it has been one of the best things that I have done, because It's helping me attract only like-minded people. People who are interested in learning about the human side of marketing, human side of business. They're interested in building more powerful relationships and having more longevity with their business. So create your own group that is specific to your interests with your business. Participate and engage. So participation and engagement is actually a tactic that is true for any social platform. What I mean by that is participating and engaging is by being a part of the conversation. I spend a good amount of time scrolling my news feed on Facebook specifically, but I also spend a good amount of time reading posts. Now, I don't necessarily engage with every post, but I engage only with the ones that I find valuable. Typically, it's a long post that has a lot of contextual value, usually a video or a powerful image. So this is something that, you need to consider for your business when you're prospecting, when you're doing lead generation. Scroll through your prospects feeds. Each one of you have a network. Mine that network more usefully. Participate and engage in the conversations. I have gotten so much referral business this way because of something that, I said to someone in a comment on Facebook, and it has created a lasting impression. And that's a really good way, to create a word of mouth business that I think a lot of people are just not taking into strong consideration. Always give more than what you ask for. Guys, I have literally shared content that is worth thousands of dollars that I could easily charge for. Easily. And this is premium value, things that I have learned over the last 26 years of being in the digital space. But giving more, always giving more than what you ask for, is a far more powerful way of creating a balance and attracting people. So I share a lot of videos. I have my podcast, The Roz Project. I do a lot of stories also. I'm very active on Instagram also when it comes to thought leadership, my personal website also. So there's a lot of ways that you can access premium content without even, paying me a single dime. So, I want you guys to really think about this. Always give more than what you ask for. You don't need to be famous to succeed or make money with your business on Facebook. You don't. You don't need to be verified on Facebook. You don't need to have, tons of friends. You don't need to have a huge following. You don't need any of that. You need some knowledge. You need to know how to execute, and you need some consistency. These are very, very basic things that most people can't even master, because most people are literally chasing the horse before the cart. And that is a really, really, really big mistake. Again, you don't need to be famous to succeed or, to make money with your business. You just have to have the right strategies, the right tactics, to and know how to execute and just be the best practitioner possible. That's really what it comes down to. Execution and consistency in everything is imperative. But then again, that's with anything. So, I'm going to be honest with you. Having 100% consistency is very difficult to accomplish because it's about discipline and about commitment. And I will tell you this is a mistake that even to this day that I make. For instance, this show, Depths and Widths, that I just recently introduced, now we're only on the 3rd episode. As much as I'd like to do it every single night, there's nights that I'm just not able to. There's nights when I'm too tired because, I'm with family, or I had something else that I had to attend to, something that took priority over, doing a Facebook Live. In this case, we're actually streaming on several locations. We're streaming to my YouTube channel, on Periscope, in the Human Marketing Alliance group, on my business page, my personal business page, and my personal profile. So, there are some nights, but, there's a difference between being completely inconsistent and or being inconsistent and just not doing anything at all. Because that's what most people do. They start something and they never finish it. So, the execution and consistency is key. You really have to develop that discipline, and it's with everything. And honestly, personally, I struggle with this, but I'm continuously striving for ways to improve, continuously striving for ways to develop that consistency and refine my execution. And that's what I want you guys to understand here, is that it's not just on Facebook. It's really on any other social platform, or really just in business altogether. I'll give you one of my biggest success stories from last year, that still is so mind blowing that I can't quite believe it. So last year, I was very avid in doing social videos. You may have seen some of them out there that I've shared. And I was very persistent on LinkedIn. I believe I was publishing one social video every single day on LinkedIn. It didn't matter what day of the week it was, for like a 6-month period. And I think about 3 months had passed by, and I received this random direct message from someone. And long story short, this was someone that I'm friends with, and someone who introduced me to, a very reputable startup company in the healthcare space, and was able to generate thousands of dollars. Actually, it was about $15,000 in revenue in a 2.5-month period. So how did that all come about? Well, it all came about over the fact that because of me sharing these social videos on LinkedIn, I was able to generate enough exposure, enough interest, enough likability and trust to where she reached out to me and invited me to meet one of the 5 key upper management members of the team. And from there, really just created a snowball effect into working with them and kind of doing the whole 9 yards, launching a podcast and doing a lot of different digital marketing things. So again, to most people, everyone looks to quantify everything before they actually put any effort. And I think a lot of people have expectations before actually doing anything. And honestly, that's something that you need to change from a mindset standpoint. You should have zero expectations from anything or from anyone. You just need to become the best possible practitioner, and just focus on doing as much as you can. Doing as in just executing as flawlessly as you can. To the point to where you develop consistency, you improve your processes, your procedures in the way you do things. That is ultimately what differentiates you from everyone else. That's what differentiates me from everyone else. And I don't know about you guys, but you got to toot your own horn at some point in time. You just have to, because if you don't, nobody else will. So again, if you're serious about upping your Facebook game, I just gave you a lot of simple tips. And for those of you watching on the replay, you can write all of these down. This is free information that if you execute upon it, it's going to help you up your game significantly. It's going to help improve your personal brand. It's going to help you generate more leads, more prospects for your business, more potential revenue, more dividends. But at the end of the day, it's up to you and nobody else on whether or not you take initiative on any of these things. And that's actually one of the biggest problems with many people. They just don't take strong enough initiative, because most people want to make a lot of money in business, but don't understand the nuances of what it takes. And from a Facebook standpoint, honestly, a vast majority of my business actually comes from Facebook and it's organic. And this is why I'm sharing these tips with you, because I have been able to figure out a process, and some of the tips that I share with you, I have applied on my own to be able to create new relationships on Facebook organically, $0 spend, which I'm about to change that, because organic growth is the toughest thing to do. It's the most lengthiest, especially on Facebook. But once you build up that trend, then you can pay to play for some targeted exposure. Now, personally, I think that the modern Facebook user is intelligent enough to depict the difference between a paid ad and an organic post. And they just simply don't trust an ad as much. But needless to say, you need to pay to play, but you also need to have a strong organic footprint. Also, and that's why I'm sharing these tips with you guys, because I want you to understand how important it is and how you can build up strength, how to improve your Facebook game with these organic steps that honestly, anywhere else you go, you're probably going to get charged money to learn. So I'm giving this away for free to you. This is literally the exact footprint that I have utilized on my own to help me grow my business. Now, whether you take initiative on any of these things, that's totally up to you. I'm always here to help. I don't charge for conversations. And I think that's one thing a lot of people shy away from, because anytime someone inquires about anything, they think that, oh, Ivan is going to charge me money. But what you have to understand, that everything has to start with a conversation. You have to understand that you're going to have to put some investment in Facebook. If you're serious about upping your Facebook game, and everything that I shared with you in this live is to do it in an organic way, you're going to have to invest the time and the initiative to do it. You know, this is what a lot of people don't understand. No, it's not magic. It's not. It's just proven tactics. And you know what's really mind-boggling is that I even have some former bosses of mine from, 6, 7, 8 years ago, when I was still in the agency world, before I decided to start Razor Sharp Digital in 2016, they still ask me for advice, and they're blown away at the fact that of how relevant I am with Facebook. I am relevant because, I try to stay abreast with everything that Facebook is doing. And honestly, at the end of the day, and this is more of a business tip too, is if your product or your service is as good as you say that it is, it's actually going to sell itself. And there's a quote actually by Henry Ford out there that is similar to that. And what I mean by that is that what you have to sell is as good as it is. If it solves real problems in the marketplace, honestly, invest into organic approach, invest into a little bit of paid approach at some point. And if you execute on it, tactically, I have no doubt. I mean, honestly, the last 3 months, a lot of people have struggled with COVID, especially. Millions and millions of Americans, have struggled financially. Businesses have closed. Now, there's talks that there's a second wave coming in, and actually a lot of businesses are closing now as well. I'm going to be honest with you guys. While all this chaos was happening, literally, I was mastering Facebook. I built some of the most powerful relationships in the last 3 months that I've done in the history of my business, in the most chaotic of times for my business, to the point that now I have a full-time employee. I just landed one of the second, actually, largest project in the history of my business. I'm talking like massive project. And that has all been a result of organic tactics that I just gave you. Literally, I just gave you at no cost. No cost. Now, if you're struggling in applying the knowledge that I just shared with you, I'm always here to help. Honestly, you have nothing to lose, but you have everything to gain. And it's totally up to you if you take that initiative. In fact, if you were listening yesterday evening to the live that I did, I talked about the fact that I'm looking to work with three individuals right now, only three entrepreneurs, three small business owners who are serious about upping their business potential. And in this case, if you're struggling with Facebook and you're just not getting the results that you're looking for, again, it's no voodoo magic. These are just proven tactics and strategies that I have mastered and applied to my own business that has been able to grow my business significantly in the most chaotic of times. When a lot of people were on unemployment, claiming unemployment checks, checks from the CARE Act, what I was doing is actually growing my business. And again, you don't need to be famous to make money on Facebook. In fact, being humble is far more important than trying to strive for fame, which is I think what a lot of people do on Facebook. I think a lot of people want a lot of friends, a huge following, a lot of likes on their posts. Honestly, I have never really had, any of that. I've had a couple of instances, but for the most part, it's just been an organic approach to building my community and community development using the tactics that I just shared with you guys. You'll need to flip on the replay and go to the beginning if you want to listen to all of these tactics and strategies. Again, I'm always here for a conversation. That has really helped me grow. And I know it can help you also. But at the end of the day, you have to be serious. I see a lot of people, and where I was going with that thought, actually, it wasn't actually until recently. It was this was actually on Instagram. I just posted a social video, that I guess you could call it went viral, just completely unexpectedly. It had to do with there is no growth from comfort. And just totally spread like wildfire. I was actually blown away, and that's a huge part of Facebook too. Principally, you have to be able to share content that is going to be enticing to people. And honestly, it's very hard to entice people on Facebook because honestly, the same bullshit is probably flying through your newsfeed. So to capture the attention of people, it has to do with your mantra, with your personality, with your characteristics of who you are. I talked about this in the beginning of the broadcast, that I'm a no fluff kind of guy. I do things very unconventionally. I dislike being formal. And there's a lot of people who, disagree with that. But there's a lot of people who reach out to me and say, you know what, man, I work with so and they promised me the moon and I never got the results that they were hoping for. And it's very unfortunate. There's a lot of people out there that are going to promise you the world. Personally, I don't promise anything, because even though I know that I can generate success for the people I work with and for my clients, I know that I'm at the mercy of platforms like Facebook. And honestly, Facebook could completely change their algorithm tomorrow, and suddenly I'm up a hill without a paddle. And that's probably one of the biggest mistakes that I see on Facebook. All these Facebook gurus that make promises about, these mystical results that are just clearly fabricated, and people are swayed by it. So again, it's no voodoo here. I just share with you a bunch of tips. I'm actually looking to do this show on a nightly basis. Depths and Wits. We're at episode 3. And again, if you're just tuning in, my name is Ivan Temelkov, founder and CEO of Razor Sharp Digital, the world's #1 human marketing agency, where we work with brands and companies of all sizes in helping them forge their digital footprint using multi-channel marketing, emotional engagement, and human-to-human business practices. In fact, just to kind of give you an insight into the types of companies we work with. Right now, one of our biggest clients is a $150 million per year safety glass, auto glass company. If you've heard of the likes of Safelite, there are amongst one of those, they're not Safelite. So just to kind of give you an idea of the types of companies that we have attracted. And again, it's because of the execution, because of the knowledge. And you can do the same for your own business. I want to teach you how to do that. But again, you have to take the initiative. I can't make that commitment for you. That's all that I want to talk about this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Depths and Widths, episode 3. I'm actually really enjoying this, and I'm actually thrilled at the fact that now I have this entire setup that I can do these lives, and we're multi-streaming on multiple platforms on top of everything. So that's pretty exciting, you know. This is something that I really, really wanted to do for a long time, and I finally was able to, you know, financially invest into, you know, a brand new MacBook Pro. You know, this mic, I have two 24-inch monitors. You know, I'm truly blessed, you know, to be able to do this, but it's also the direct result of the hard work and the things that I have done. And that's another thing that, you know that I can help you with, is to get to that next level with your business. Again, it's not voodoo magic. You know, I've done all of these things. I would never, ever, ever teach anyone something that I haven't accomplished, because the reality of things is, and I was actually reading a post, you know, of Ed Milet earlier today. I'm one of his top fans on his page. And he had a post about, you know, talking about all this fabrication that's going on the internet right now, and, you know, the impersonation of so many people. And, you know, it's really saddening. I think that's the thing, that social media, you know, is catching a bad rep, you know, that there's just too many, you know, quote unquote gurus who have never done any of the things that they claim that they can do. And it's really diluting the social media space. You know, it's really diluting the social media world, and it's creating a lot of unnecessary friction, a lot of uncertainty. You know, I run into people who have had bad experiences with Facebook marketing in the past. And, you know, speaking of Facebook marketing, and I know I mentioned pay-per-play, such as Facebook ads, one of our recent successes for a mobile tech company that's a client of ours that we work with, we spent $1,500 on Facebook ads, and we're able to generate 239 leads for them as a result. And I believe about 40% of those leads were qualified. But honestly, if you ask me, I primarily focus on leads. You know, qualified leads is important, obviously. But when you even have 40% of your leads being qualified, then that's a pretty good number, actually. Because I know most companies think that 100% of their leads are going to be qualified, but that is far, far from the truth. And so that was a really big success story that, in fact, we're looking to include on the new Razor Sharp Digital website, which I'm just absolutely stoked about. I can't wait to share with you guys. We are right now at about a couple of months out of actually getting that accomplished, because we're actually, you know, taking it really slow. But the new Razor Sharp Digital is going to be and by the way, RazorSharpDigital.com, which is my company's website, was a website that I built back in 2016. I think I launched it in May of 2016. So, you know, it's been over 4 years now since I have touched that website. And, you know, it has been able to pay a lot of dividends. You know, it has really helped me, you know, even though the vast majority of the growth from my business has really happened as a result of my personal brand. And, again, that's one of the things I talked about earlier on, is that you are the brand and you should act like it. But, RazorSharpDigital.com is my company website. And so I'm excited to revive that. We've got a really cool video that we've been working on that is really going to emphasize what the brand is about. It's going to be a huge disruption in the marketplace. I already know this for a fact because over the last 4 years specifically, as I've been growing Razor Sharp Digital and encountering different opportunities, I've had numerous people who have made compliments about the whole human marketing and human business approach and the evolution of it, so much that now we're seeing even corporations striving for more personalization in business and with their marketing initiatives, because consumers simply are just tired of fluff. So I know that we have a really, really good approach here, really good checks and balances systems, and really excited for 2021. 2020 has been an amazing year thus far. I know that with COVID, there's been a lot of chaos, but even that, like I said, during the past 3 months have been the three most fruitful months that I've seen with my business. And so, in the things that I talked about in this live, you can really apply this really during any time, whether there's a pandemic going on or no pandemic going on. All these tactics are actually beneficial and fruitful to help you grow your business. But again, you got to take the initiative. You got to make that commitment. I talk to so many people on a daily basis that they don't want to make the commitment because they don't want to spend money. Well, how are you going to grow your business if you don't have the knowledge to grow it, let alone spend the money so you can learn the knowledge and have someone help you? That's probably one of the biggest mistakes that even new entrepreneurs make. Specifically new entrepreneurs, in fact, is they just don't want to spend money to learn a specific skill or a strategy or a tactic, such as what I talked about in this Facebook Live. So with that being said, I'm going to sign off. It's getting late. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this Facebook Live. And if I can help you to grow your Facebook, up your Facebook game, definitely reach out to me. I'd love to have a conversation with you. And enjoy the rest of your evening. Until tomorrow, take care. Bye-bye.